I do get a little upset this one. To the people who are commenting that fintech companies are not offering PPP loans, all I can say is that you are wrong.
What's up, hard chargers, and welcome back to another episode of Hodgepodgepreneur with me, Kyle Miller. And I wanted to give you a quick update on some information I just found out that's really important information for the SBA, the Small Business Association PPP, Paycheck Protection Program, funding that just got passed on the 23rd. So today is 4/25, so April 25th. This just got passed on the 23rd, and there were already people in line from the first round of funding. If you recall, there was a first round of funding that went dry within the first 2 or 3 weeks, and there are some people that are in line. I personally know a few people who got approved, but the funds ran out, so they're just waiting. And so now that these funds are available, that means that they will be getting those funds before anybody else who's applying right now. It's going to run out quickly, so you got to make sure that you get in there and elbow your way in and try to get that money so that your business can thrive in these difficult times and so that you can get back on track whenever these times are over. Now, the loan is a forgivable loan if you pass a certain bar, and the bar is pretty low to pass. If you're able to hire back your employees or if you're able to retain your employees, then you get to keep all of the money that they gave you. So I won't get into all of that. And just a disclaimer, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, I'm not giving you accounting or legal advice. This is just some research that I did. So I was looking, and there is a YouTube channel called Clear Value Tax, and I clicked on his video to listen to it, and he was talking about fintechs, and I had honestly never heard of the term fintech.
Tip number one, apply for your SBA PPP loan at fintechs. Fintechs are financial technology companies.
It makes sense. It stands for financial technology. But a fintech is something that both you and I have actually heard of before. We just never knew that term behind it. And it includes places like Square, Cabbage, PayPal, Quickbooks. All of those are financial technology companies. And in the first round of funding, this particular YouTuber over at Clear Value Tax says that it's not the small banks that were the unsung heroes of the first round of getting people approved. It was actually the fintech companies.
Fintechs, they were the heroes of the first round of funding because they did the best job of processing and approving and funding the small businesses. The regional banks and community banks, they got the majority of the good press and good attention. However, what happened was that the fintechs, they were actually the heroes in the first round, in my opinion.
Now, after watching this video, I thought that he was outdated and didn't know what he's talking about because that video he published was prior to the second round of funding getting passed. And the first article you find when you Google Paycheck Protection Program Fintech was an article from Fortune.com saying that Fintech was not going to be allowed in the second round of funding. But then he posts this video on the 24th. The video that he posted later on, he was pretty irate about it. And he said that he had processed a fintech application the very next day after the second round of funding was available. And you can see that he's pretty peeved off right here.
All right. I do get a little upset this one. To the comments saying that fintech companies, financial technology companies, to the people who are commenting that fintech companies are not offering PPP loans because they read this in a Fortune article, all I can say is that you are wrong. Fintech companies such as PayPal, Cabbage, Circle, Square, and many, many more are offering PPP loans even if you don't have an account with them. I helped someone this morning apply for a PPP loan through PayPal this morning. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Please don't leave those comments. Please don't spread COVID-19, and please don't spread misinformation. Thank you very much.
Oh, man, that dude, don't make him mad, man. That dude gets fired up. I love him. He's got an attitude. He's feisty. So, yeah, I think that he knows what he's talking about, and he actually has an obvious case where he did it. So these are options for you that are out there. It may be quicker, and there may be funds available through these places rather than going to a bank. In the first round of funding, a lot of people had difficulties going through banks because they didn't already have an account with a bank, or some banks, there's articles talking about how some banks would make you have additional accounts. So that is a good thing that these places are a lot easier to get into. And this processing is part of what they do. They already do online processing. They already have online applications. They're set up for this type of situation. And in fact, you can apply at a bank and you can apply at one of these fintechs, because according to bench.com, which is an online accounting service, you can apply for the PPP multiple times and you're not at any risk, because once you do get approved, the SBA gives your EIN number what's called a PLP, which is a preferred lending partner number. And that preferred lending partner number is attached to that EIN number, which prevents you from getting multiple loans, and it earmarks that money for you. So if you want to apply through one of these fintechs and you want to try to apply to your local bank and see which one comes through first, I don't see how that would be an issue. You don't run a risk of getting double funded. There's a quick pointer for you on this PPP and the second round and how you could possibly get funded quicker and through channels that nobody's really talking about. So some of these fintech companies include PayPal, Intuit, QuickBooks, Square, OnDeck, Funding Circle, Bluevine, Cabbage, Ready Capital, Credibly, and a lot more. So make sure you go out there and you don't run a risk of getting double funded or anything, so you can apply for both at the same time. Okay, so hopefully that really helps you guys out. Like I said, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, I'm not offering you any kind of legal or accounting advice. All I'm offering you is the information that I have found and some proof behind it, so that if you find it useful and it helps you, then great. And this is all part of what this channel is about, which is having to put yourself together in all these hodgepodge pieces as a small business owner, because you don't have a CPA or a lawyer sitting there on retainer, and you have to try to figure these things out on your own, and you have to go off of information that you feel is good information. So hopefully I provided you with good information, and I hope that you will subscribe. I hope that I'll see you on the next episode of Hodgepodgepreneur, and until next time, keep charging hard, hard chargers.